It is 0 hour 30 Universal Time. I'm Jim Tedder in Washington. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah says he regrets the kidnapping of 2 Israeli soldiers that started more than 1 month of fighting with Israel. Sheikh Nasrallah spoke on Lebanese television. He said that he would not have done it had he known the kidnapping would lead to such a war. He also said Italy and the United Nations have shown interest in taking part in possible talks about a prisoner exchange between Israel and Hezbollah. Hezbollah seized the 2 Israeli soldiers during a cross-border raid on July 12th. The raid led to 34 days of fighting between Israel and Hezbollah. Much of southern Lebanon was destroyed. Israeli forces have killed 3 suspected militants and wounded several other Palestinians during a military operation in Gaza City. The Israeli military says one of the suspects was carrying an anti-tank missile. Israeli fire also wounded 2 reporters who were in a vehicle used by the Reuters news agency. Reuters says the vehicle was clearly marked for the press. The Israeli army says it did not identify the vehicle as being used by the press and says it regrets the injuries. Earlier, 2 kidnapped Fox News reporters were released. They were seized by Palestinians almost 2 weeks ago. Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki says violence is decreasing in Iraq. He spoke on CNN television. Mr. al-Maliki also said Iraqi forces are making progress with security, and he denied that Iraq is in a civil war. He said Iraqi forces could be ready to continue security without the help of coalition troops in less than a year. Iraqi forces have already begun controlling security in some Iraqi provinces. They are expected to take control of more provinces by the end of the year. Earlier, Mr. al-Maliki influenced Shiite and Sunni tribal leaders to unite against violence. Both United States and Iraqi officials have reported improvements. Also in Iraq, bombings in Baghdad, Bakuba, and Kirkuk killed almost 30 people, and police say 12 people were killed by attackers in a market in the town of Kalis. Resistance fighters in southern Afghanistan have killed a British soldier. Britain's defense ministry says the soldier died in a clash in the northern part of Helmand province. Also, another NATO soldier and 6 Afghan troops were wounded when shells hit their base in nearby Kandahar province. In eastern Zabul province, suspected Taliban fighters attacked a bus carrying 30 prisoners from Kandahar to Kabul. 1 prison guard was killed. Some of the prisoners escaped during the attack, but were later recaptured. Iran's top nuclear negotiator says the country is ready to hold talks on its nuclear program. Ali Larijani reportedly said Iranian officials are prepared to meet with foreign ministers from the 5 permanent United Nations Security Council members and Germany. He also said that any action taken to rob Iran of its rights to produce nuclear fuel will not stop the country from seeking its nuclear goals. The UN Security Council also called on Iran to stop enriching uranium by the end of August or face possible restrictions. Enriched uranium can produce both nuclear fuel and material for atomic bombs. Earlier, Iran said it had test-fired a missile in the Persian Gulf that can travel long distances and go unseen by radar. The test was part of military training that began more than a week ago. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. United States government investigators say evidence shows that a plane at the airport in the city of Lexington, Kentucky, was in the wrong place when it crashed and burned. The accident killed 49 people. The National Transportation Safety Board says information from the plane shows that it left the airport from an area that was too short for an aircraft of its size. Investigators say it is not clear why the plane was on the short runway. The only survivor of the crash is being treated at a local hospital. The United States Space Agency is continuing with plans to launch the Space Shuttle Atlantis on Tuesday. A NASA official says the agency has two competing goals. It aims to fly the shuttle or remove it from the launch area to protect it from high winds. A decision is expected by Monday. The shuttle launch planned for Sunday was canceled because of lightning. American weather experts say the severe ocean storm in the Caribbean has weakened, but should strengthen again after it passes Haiti. The storm's winds are now measured at 95 kilometers an hour. The United States National Hurricane Center has issued a severe storm watch for the Florida Keys. Those islands in southern Florida are expected to feel the effects of the storm Tuesday or Wednesday. Warnings are also in effect for southwestern Haiti and Cuba. Reports say Haiti is experiencing extremely heavy rains. Cuban officials have ordered tens of thousands of people to leave before the storm arrives Monday. Heavy rains are also expected in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. People living on the American Gulf Coast are remembering the severe ocean storm that hit August 29th last year. The storm, called Hurricane Katrina, severely damaged parts of the states of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama with high water and wind. 1,300 people were killed. The area is still rebuilding a year later. The head of the federal government's efforts says repair continues on broken dams to prevent another flood in the city of New Orleans. Donald Powell said the dams have been rebuilt to the strength they were before the storm. Louisiana Senator Mary Landrieu says the dams should be made stronger. And now, briefly, here again is the major news of the hour, read in VOA Special English. Hezbollah's leader says he regrets the kidnapping of 2 Israeli soldiers that started more than 1 month of fighting with Israel. Israeli forces have killed 3 suspected militants and wounded several other Palestinians during a military operation in Gaza City. And Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki says violence is decreasing in Iraq. And that's the news in VOA Special English. Jim Tedder reporting.